I am the disabled guy with the disabled life. That podcast is going to be about disabled issues and other things that interest me and others from the disabled community. I did this so that people understand what we go through in life and what we do, because a lot of what we do, it is interesting. I'm also going to talk a little bit about ADA and things of that nature. It's something that's very important to me and something that I learned a lot about when I did an episode. I'm going to talk more about it. Okay. This podcast, it's going to come out at 10 p.m. Saturday and Wednesday. So that's when that's when I think most people listen. Most people listen at night or have the episodes there for during the for the daytime. So let me stop this. Stop. Okay, let me talk about this. Sometimes, as disabled people, we tend to get into our head. What I mean by getting into our head is that we overthink something, and it may not become an issue. So, the moral of the story here is, don't do that. Stay out of your head. Let things relax. Think about what's going on. When you're having a problem with a family member, for example, just let that go. Just let it go. Let things go. Things will get better. It could be a friend. It could be an in-person friend too. Just let it go. And don't call them. Don't do any of that. Just let them decide what they want to do. Let them come to you. Because if you force it, it's not going to happen. Let somebody come to you. I used to force it. Now I don't. Because now I learned. Don't force it. Let them come. And if they won't come to you, don't force. It's something that I found. Don't force. Because if they don't want to come to you, that's okay. If they do want to come to you, then that's great. But if they don't want to come to you, which happened to me before, let it go. You know, because you don't know. You don't know what they got going on in their life. You can't understand what's happening in their life. You don't know. So, it's sometimes it hurts. Sometimes friendships hurt when you lose a longtime friend. But no. Another thing that I said is sometimes when let's say this. Sometimes when you're having a disagreement with a friend, say it. This has not happened to me, but say it, because it may be something they can fix. It's true. It may be something they can fix. This is just a piece of advice that came up today because I was in a beautiful space. I was in a beautiful Twitter space, listening to somebody for 2 hours. No, started at 1 my time. Ended at 6. I was in the Twitter space with that same hostess for 7 hours on one of the holiday time. It was 7 hours. I didn't mean to get into that. It took me three iPhone charges for me to get into that space. I said the word thank you. And but you know what? Sometimes you take advice from unusual places. And I've taken advice from Twitter spaces before, and that seems to work sometimes because they're uninterested parties. So that's a good thing. I like them, because sometimes you can bounce something off their head, and they're not thinking the way you are. The emotion is not there. Find somebody that is an uninterested party. Because that helps sometimes, because they can give you a perspective that you don't expect to get, and it may put you out of your funk. With that, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to my episodes. My episodes will come out Monday and Wednesday. You can listen to me on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and many others, including iHeartRadio. The reason I've done this podcast is to give people a voice. Because I think that the disabled community is missing a voice. But I am in a unique position of being able to afford minimal equipment to do this. I'm going to give you my email address. My email, if you want to contact me, is ke4key@gmail.com. And I will also, you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, at The Disabled Guy, and a few other places where I put my episode out on Facebook too. With that, thank you for listening.